The shadow that crosses stars. The council chamber of the Corvan Dominion stretched wide enough to hold 1,000 souls. Today it held only 15 beings, the High Council that ruled 3,000 star systems. They sat in silence, watching a holographic star map at the center of the room. On that map, a single red dot moved slowly through the void. Supreme Chancellor Vrakas stood at the edge of the projection. His 4 arms hung at his sides. His silver exoskeleton, which normally gleamed with pride, seemed dull in the chamber's soft light. He had ruled the Dominion for 70 cycles. He had seen wars, rebellions, and conquests. But he had never seen anything like this. "Tell me again," he said quietly. "How many ships?" Fleet Commander Zethus stepped forward. His voice was steady but his eyes showed uncertainty. "Just one, Supreme Chancellor. Our deep space sensors have confirmed it multiple times. A single human warship is crossing into our territory." Council member Praxis laughed, though the sound held no joy. "This must be an insult. Perhaps they are testing our response time. Where is their real fleet?" Zethus shook his head slowly. "There is no fleet. We have scanned every approach vector. We have checked for cloaked vessels and hidden staging areas. The humans have sent one ship. Nothing more." The chamber fell quiet again. Silence felt heavy, oppressive. These were beings who commanded the greatest military force in this sector of the galaxy. They controlled 5 million warships. Their armies had crushed resistance on 400 worlds. Yet now they looked at each other with something that resembled fear. "Perhaps they are fools," suggested Council Member Lixa. Her voice tried to sound confident but failed. "Young races often overestimate their strength. They will learn humility when we destroy their vessel." "Will we?" Chancellor Vrakas turned to face her. "Tell me, Lixa, what do you know about humans?" "Very little," she admitted. "They are a new species. They reached the stars only 300 years ago. They are young, inexperienced." "Young, yes," Vrakas agreed. "But inexperienced?" He touched a control panel. The star map changed, showing a timeline of galactic history. 300 years ago, the humans left their home world. "Do you know what happened to the first empire that attacked them?" The council watched as Vrakas pulled up records. Images appeared in the air, showing the great Nethrak Empire. Their ships had been legendary. Their warriors were feared across the galaxy. They had ruled for 4,000 years. The Nethrak saw Earth as a primitive world full of resources, Vrakas continued. They sent a conquest fleet of 300 ships. The battle lasted 12 days. Not one Nethrak vessel returned home. He paused. Within 60 years, the Nethrak Empire ceased to exist. Their home world is silent now. Empty. The humans did that. Murmurs spread through the council. Zethus spoke up. "That could have been chance. Perhaps the Nethrak were already weak." "Perhaps," Vrakas said. "Let me tell you about the Vorgoth Collective then." Another image appeared, showing a vast star empire. The Vorgoth were slavers. They captured human colony ships. They took prisoners and sold them across 100 worlds. When the humans discovered this, they did not negotiate. They did not demand the return of their people. They simply sent 4 ships. 4 ships. Praxis said. Against the Vorgoth? They controlled 900 star systems. They did, Vrakas confirmed. It took the humans 15 years. They visited every single Vorgoth world. They freed every slave. And when they were done, the Vorgoth Collective was ashes and memory. 900 worlds burned clean. The council members shifted uneasily in their seats. These were not pleasant stories. These were nightmares wrapped in historical facts. The Zilthar Federation tried economic warfare, Vrakas went on. They thought themselves clever. They trapped humans in debt through trade agreements. They slowly took control of human colonies through legal contracts. The humans smiled and traded with them for 30 years. Then one day, the humans stopped smiling. He looked at each council member in turn. The Zilthar begged for mercy. They offered everything they had. The humans showed them exactly as much mercy as the Zilthar had shown to human families drowning in debt. None. Enough, said Elder Corvus, the oldest member of the council. We understand your point, Chancellor. The humans are dangerous. But we are the Corvan Dominion. We have stood for 3,000 years. We are not the Nethrak or the Vorgoth or the Zilthar. We have 5 million warships. Surely you do not suggest that one human vessel can threaten us? Vraka stared at the red dot on the map. It was closer now. In 8 days it would reach Corvan space. The humans call their ship the Resolute Dawn. According to our intelligence, it is one of 20 such vessels in their fleet. That is all they have built. 20 warships to defend all of human space. Impossible, Praxis scoffed. No civilization survives with only 20 military vessels. And yet the humans do more than survive, Zethus said quietly. Every empire that faced these ships is gone. Perhaps we should ask ourselves why the humans feel they need only 20. Chancellor Vrakas pulled up an image of the approaching vessel. The ship was dark, built with clean lines and no decoration. It measured roughly 1.3 kilometers in length. Compared to the massive Corvan battle stations, it looked small, almost fragile. But there was something about it. Something in the way it moved through space. It did not hurry. It did not send warnings or demands. It simply came forward with the inevitability of a falling star. What do they want? Asked Lixa. Why have they come? We have never attacked them. We have never even made contact with their government. The chamber became very still. Vrakas looked at Zethus. The fleet commander's face showed regret and shame. 2 years ago, Zethus began slowly. A Corvan trading corporation discovered a small human colony on the frontier. The colony had fewer than 3,000 inhabitants. They were farmers, miners, families. The corporation saw an opportunity. No, whispered Lixa. She understood where this was going. The corporation captured the colonists, Zethus continued. They sold them as laborers across 30 of our systems. The profit was substantial. The Dominion received taxes on those transactions. He paused. The humans are coming to take their people back. Then we return them, Praxis said quickly. We find every human slave and return them immediately. We pay compensation. We punish the corporation. This can be resolved peacefully. Vrakas shook his head. You still do not understand. The humans are not coming to negotiate. They are not coming to make deals or accept apologies. Look at the star map. Look at how they approach. The council studied the projection. The red dot moved in a perfectly straight line. It did not take an efficient route. It did not avoid Corvan sensor stations or military outposts. It came directly, openly, with absolute confidence. They are sending a message, Elder Corvus said quietly. Not to us. To the entire galaxy. Yes, Vrakas agreed. The message is simple. Touch human beings and we will come for you. It does not matter how strong you are. It does not matter how many ships you have. It does not matter how old your empire is. We will come. And we will not stop until we are satisfied. What will satisfy them? Asked Lixa. Vrakas had no answer. Perhaps the humans themselves did not know yet. Perhaps they would decide when they arrived. Perhaps they had already decided and the Corvan Dominion would simply learn their judgment when the Resolute Dawn entered their space. We have 8 days, Zethus said. I recommend we mobilize the fleet. Every ship. Every weapon. We prepare for war. And if we return their people first? Praxis asked. If we show good faith? We should try, Corvus said. But we should also prepare. The humans have destroyed empires that tried to appease them. They have destroyed empires that fought them. We cannot know what they will accept until they arrive. Chancellor Vrakas looked one more time at the red dot crossing the star map. A single ship. One vessel carrying perhaps a few hundred humans at most. Yet it moved like a predator that had never known defeat. It moved like judgment itself. He thought about the Nethrak Empire, gone. He thought about the Vorgoth Collective, burned clean. He thought about the Zilthar Federation, begging uselessly for mercy. All of them had been powerful. All of them had been ancient. All of them had fallen before humanity. Mobilize the fleet, Vrakas ordered. Locate every human slave in our territory. Prepare to return them. Send a diplomatic transmission to the human government. He paused. And pray that we can avoid becoming another cautionary tale for the galaxy. The council members dispersed to their tasks. Soon the chamber was empty except for Vrakas and Zethus. They stood together, watching the red dot grow slowly closer. Do you think we can stop them? Zethus asked. Vrakas was quiet for a long moment. I think we are about to learn why 20 ships are enough for humanity. And I think we will not enjoy the lesson. The red dot moved forward through the darkness. Behind it, invisible in the projection, came the weight of humanity's promise. That promise was simple and terrible: we protect our own. No matter the cost. No matter the enemy. No matter what empires must fall. The Corvan Dominion had 8 days to understand what that promise meant. Then the resolute dawn would arrive, and understanding would become experience. Steel hearts and broken empires. Admiral Marcus Stone stood at the center of the resolute dawn's bridge. He was 63 years old. His gray hair was cut military short. Deep lines marked his face, the kind that came from carrying heavy decisions for many years. His eyes were calm, patient. They had seen too much horror to be shocked anymore, and too much courage to feel fear. Around him, 30 crew members worked in silence. 30 humans to crew a vessel that could challenge an empire. Each one was trained to the highest level. Each one knew exactly what they were here to do. Status report, Marcus said quietly. His voice carried authority without needing to be loud. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Chen looked up from her navigation station. We will enter Corvan space in 7 hours, Admiral. They have not changed their defensive posture. Fleet elements are gathering at the border. How many ships? Current count is 800 and climbing. They are pulling vessels from across their territory. Marcus nodded slowly. 800 ships to face one. The Corvans were taking this seriously. Good. They should. Any communications from their government? He asked. Chen checked her display. Multiple transmissions. They claim they are locating our people. They say they will return everyone unharmed. They request dialogue and negotiation. Do they? Marcus walked to the main viewport. Outside, stars streaked past as the ship traveled faster than light. What do our intelligence reports say? Commander James Park, the ship's intelligence officer, pulled up data on his screen. We have confirmed the locations of 2,842 captured colonists. They are spread across 32 Corvan systems. Most are in mining operations. Some work in agricultural zones. Approximately 150 are in private households. He paused. 17 have died from overwork or abuse. The bridge became very quiet. Marcus felt the familiar cold anger settle into his chest. It was not hot rage. It was something colder, harder. It was the absolute certainty that this would be answered. 17, he said softly. They took our farmers and miners and families. They worked 17 of them to death. And now they want to negotiate. Sir, Chen spoke carefully. The Corvan government claims they did not know about the slave trade. The corporation that captured our people acted independently. Marcus turned to face her. Do you believe that, Commander? No, sir. The Corvan tax records show they collected revenue from the sale of human slaves. The government knew. They just did not care enough to stop it. Then they will learn to care, Marcus said. He moved back to his command chair and sat down. Continue on course. No deviation. No response to their communications. We will talk when we are ready. The hours passed slowly. The crew worked through their tasks with practiced efficiency. They checked weapons systems that had not been fired in 3 years. They reviewed tactical data about Corvan ship designs. They prepared for what was coming. Marcus spent the time thinking about the past. About how humanity had become what it was. About why a single ship could inspire such terror across the stars. 300 years ago, humanity had burst out into the galaxy with hope and excitement. They had believed the universe was full of wonders. They had dreamed of peaceful contact with alien civilizations. They had thought themselves ready to join a galactic community. Then the Nethrak had come. They had seen Earth as a primitive world full of resources and slaves. Their fleet had arrived without warning. They had bombarded human colonies. They had captured ships. They had taken prisoners. The war had lasted 12 days. When it was over, 300 Nethrak warships were destroyed. Not damaged. Not disabled. Completely destroyed. Every single one. But humanity had not stopped there. They could have defended their borders and called it victory. Instead, they had followed the Nethrak home. They had dismantled the Nethrak Empire piece by piece. They had made absolutely certain that no one would remember the Nethrak as conquerors. Only as a warning. The lesson had been simple: attack humanity and we will erase you from history. Other empires had tried different approaches. The Vorgoth thought slavery would be subtle enough to avoid war. They were wrong. The Zilthar thought economic control would be safer than military conquest. They were wrong too. Each time, humanity's response was the same. Total. Complete. Absolute. Not because humans were cruel by nature, but because they understood a fundamental truth: half measures invited future attacks. Only complete victory ensured lasting peace. So humanity built 20 ships. Just 20. Each one was a masterpiece of engineering and destruction. Each one carried enough firepower to break an empire. And each one carried a crew that knew exactly how to use it. Admiral, Chen called out. We are approaching the Corvan border. Their fleet is in position. Marcus looked at the tactical display. 800 Corvan warships spread out in a defensive formation. They had chosen their position well, blocking the direct route deeper into their territory. It was a show of strength, a statement that the Dominion would not be intimidated. Beautiful, Marcus said quietly. Park looked at him with surprise. Sir. They are trying to prove they are not afraid, Marcus explained. 800 ships against one. They think numbers will protect them. They have not learned the lesson yet. He turned to his weapons officer. Commander Reeves, status on primary systems. Lieutenant Commander David Reeves checked his console. All weapons systems fully operational, Admiral. Defensive grid at maximum. Power core running at optimal levels. Good. Marcus touched a control on his armrest. All hands, this is the Admiral. We are about to enter Corvan space. They will try to frighten us with numbers. They will try to make us hesitate. Remember why we are here. Remember who we are here for. 2,842 of our people are waiting for us. 17 more will never come home. This ends today. He closed the channel and looked at Chen. Drop us out of FTL directly in front of their formation. Show them we are not hiding. Yes, sir. The resolute Dawn dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Space rippled and twisted, then snapped back into normal geometry. The ship appeared directly facing the Corvan fleet, just 10,000 kilometers from their lead vessels. Sir, Chen reported. They are hailing us on all frequencies. Ignore them, Marcus said. He studied the Corvan formation. 800 ships. Each one was larger than the resolute Dawn. Each one carried thousands of crew members. Together they represented overwhelming force by any conventional calculation. But humanity had stopped using conventional calculations 300 years ago. Scan their fleet, Marcus ordered. Full analysis. I want to know their capabilities. The resolute Dawn sensors swept across the Corvan formation. Data flooded into the tactical computers. Ship classifications, weapon types, shield configurations, power signatures. Everything. Park whistled softly. They have brought everything they have, Admiral. Heavy battleships, fleet carriers, missile cruisers. Their combined firepower is substantial. Can they hurt us? Marcus asked simply. Park was quiet for a moment, checking numbers. No, sir. Our defensive systems are several generations beyond anything they possess. They could fire for days and not penetrate our shields. And can we hurt them? Yes, sir. Very much so. Marcus nodded. This was not arrogance. It was simple fact. The technological gap between humanity and the Corvan Dominion was vast. Humanity had learned hard lessons from the Nethrak War. They had poured everything into their warship designs. Every advancement, every innovation, every piece of cutting-edge technology went into these 20 vessels. The result was ships that seemed almost magical to other races. Ships that could survive attacks that would crack planets. Ships that could destroy fleets single-handedly. Sir, Chen said. The Corvan flagship is transmitting. They say they are prepared to return our people. They ask for terms. Marcus thought about this for a moment. The Corvans were offering what he wanted. They would give back the colonists. They would probably pay compensation. They would certainly promise it would never happen again. But Marcus had seen this before. Other empires had made similar offers. They had thought buying their way out would work. What they had not understood was that humanity did not negotiate from a position of need. They negotiated from a position of absolute power. Send them a message, Marcus said. Text only. Simple words. Chen's fingers moved across her console. Ready, sir. You have 24 hours to return every human being you have taken. Every single one. Healthy and unharmed. Transport them to these coordinates. He transmitted a location in neutral space. If even one person is missing or harmed, there will be consequences. You have 24 hours starting now. The message went out. Marcus could imagine the panic on the Corvan flagship when they received it. 24 hours. Not much time to gather slaves from 32 different star systems. Not much time at all. That was intentional. Marcus wanted them scrambling. He wanted them afraid. He wanted them to understand that humanity was not here to negotiate. Humanity was here to recover their people, and everything else was just details. Sir, Park said quietly. They are moving. The fleet is repositioning. Marcus watched as the 800 Corvan ships began to spread out. They were surrounding the resolute Dawn, trying to box it in. Classic tactics. Overwhelming numbers deployed in perfect formation. Should we evade? Chen asked. No, Marcus said. Let them position however they want. It will not matter. The Corvan fleet completed their encirclement. The resolute Dawn now sat at the center of a sphere of warships. Thousands of weapons pointed inward. Millions of tons of military steel surrounded one small human vessel. Then the Corvin flagship sent another message: "You are surrounded. Lower your shields and prepare to be boarded. You have no choice." Marcus almost smiled. Almost. "Commander Reeves, show them why numbers do not matter. Target the warship directly ahead. One shot. Low power. Just enough to demonstrate." "Yes, sir." A port opened on the resolute Dawn's hull. A weapon extended, sleek and deadly. Energy built up, contained by fields that bent physics into new shapes. Then it fired. The beam that lanced out was thin, precise, beautiful in a terrible way. It was pure white light concentrated into a line no thicker than a human finger. It crossed the distance to the Corvin warship in less than a second. The warship's shields lit up as they tried to stop the beam. They failed. The beam punched through the shields like they were not there. It touched the warship's hull for exactly 0.3 seconds. Then the weapon shut down. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the Corvin warship simply split in half. The beam had cut through 2 kilometers of advanced military vessel like a blade through silk. Atmosphere vented into space. The two halves drifted apart, trailing debris and frozen bodies. The Corvin fleet did not move. They just stared at what had happened. One shot. Low power. One of their battleships cut in half. Marcus let the silence stretch out. Let them think about what they had just seen. Let them imagine what would happen if he used full power. Let them understand how badly they had miscalculated. Then he sent one more message: 24 hours. Return our people. This is your only warning. The resolute Dawn sat quiet in the center of the Corvin fleet. One ship against 800. But now everyone understood which side held the power. The countdown had begun. Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.